Well, there we have it, the closing bell for Thursday, November 15th. It is 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators. As always, please subscribe, comment, like the videos if they are helpful to you, and let us know what else we can do to be useful and helpful to you and your trading. Now let's take a look at what the markets did today. The S&P 500 has ended the day up, and there was a good amount of moving around today. We had a good wide range. We actually did poke down below the 61.8 level, right between the 61.8 and the 76.4, but it was pretty much immediately rejected and sent back up above the 50% to touch the 38.2. So this area is definitely holding as far as a pullback goes. It looks to be holding well. We did intraday come down to yesterday we came down into the buy zone, and now today we came up into it again and above it, and have closed above it, and we're moving up into the current box. So this extension, this Fibonacci extension on the intraday, has been certainly reached. I mentioned that this morning, the 161.8 to the 200% was definitely reached, and now it has rejected back upwards again. So to see a continuation of that, we really need to see this high taken out. So that is the key level we're looking at on the S&P 500 for intraday to show that some kind of a reversal, recovery, whatever you want to call it, bounce, something that has a little more staying power has happened. Now, we did go above the zero line on the Navigator, so that is a positive sign for the bulls. Definitely this divergent Navigator that was happening, where the Navigator is making higher lows, or excuse me, lower highs, or uh, higher lows. I'm mixing up my price and my Navigator, and the price is making lower lows, getting things scrambled in my brain. So that is proving to have some follow through with that Navigator crossing the zero line, and now we have had a sharp move up, and right now just kind of hanging out and sort of digesting that before it decides what it wants to do next. On the daily basis, Navigator is still definitely trending upwards, so that is a overall good sign. Don't see a lot of continued follow through to the downside. It looks like every time price comes down, the buyers show up and are just shoving it back up. So right now, buyers are willing to buy and sellers are not able to push it lower. So we'll just have to see if that continues. If we, in fact, do get some more momentum to the upside, then I would call this the first higher low in this formation. And then we're just looking to take out this level here to establish a new pattern of higher highs and higher lows. So that is what we're looking for on a daily basis. Of course, intraday, there are swings in both directions. And if you are an intraday time frame type trader, there is no shortage of opportunities for you to grab. Now let's take a look at crude oil. And not much today on crude. Crude just kind of went sideways, hung out in its box in the balanced area, didn't really do much of anything. Navigator is above the zero line, so that's promising. We are seeing definitely some sharply increased strength in the Navigator. Of course, the price is going up, so there's no divergence there or anything. Navigator is actually just confirming price. But I'm a little worried about this. We've seen kind of a double top here. It has failed to break that twice now. Now, there is an old saying that after the first time something establishes a resistance point, first time you fade it, go the other way. Second time, you go with it and break out. So we'll see if that holds true here. If crude can form a little bit more of a base here and then rally up and break this high, then we may have room to go higher. And then we're looking to test sort of this area here. That's what I would be looking at for crude. But certainly after this gigantic move down, crude is definitely due for a bit of a bounce of some sort. So this buy zone certainly seems like a sensible area for that to take place. Plus, we've got the massively exhausted Navigator, and they very, very oversold at lower than 50. Usually anything over about 40 or so is oversold, and we are way, way below that. So looking like things are setting up for a bit of a bullish move in crude. We'll just have to see if it follows through. Gold has just gone sideways pretty much today as well. Not a whole lot going on. It's just kind of staying in the box. Navigator's staying green on the intraday. It has dipped below the zero line, though, the last couple of days. So on a daily basis, Navigator a little bit weak, but it has certainly bounced off of this channel line. So at the moment, not too worried about a major breakdown in gold or anything like that. Certainly wouldn't be shocked to see it come down and maybe test this channel line and then see if it holds or not at that point. But right now, slightly bearish in gold. You can see the 21 EMA is pointed down. So it is acting as resistance at the moment, keeping the price down below that level. So if you are a bull on gold, then that's the first thing we need to see is we need to see a hop over this 21 EMA and something to hold above that. Then at that point, we can get up to the top of the box. And if we can break that, then there's a good chance to move higher. And ultimately, we got to test that level there. This is the high that eventually has to be taken out in order to have any kind of real bullish follow through on a daily basis. On an intraday, that's our short term level right there, which is not far away at all. So if we can get up here, break the box, then there's a decent chance of hopping up over that level. In which case, we can start to maybe chew away a bit at some of this channel and move towards the upper half of it, something like that. So possible little bullish action in gold, but it's also perfectly possible that it kind of just sort of moves sideways and maybe rides the bottom of this channel a little bit, or something maybe even repeat of this pattern. Come down, test the channel, come up about halfway ish or so, and then come back down and test it again, and then move up. So we've got the maybe potentially the first leg of that, and so maybe we get one more and then a move up. We'll just have to see if history repeats itself, as it frequently tends to do. Now let's take a look at crypto. Bitcoin is, definitely experiencing another leg down. I think there's no argument about that. Definitely, we have broken that low that we've been keeping an eye on. That was our signal for anything to the bear side was a takeout of that low, and we certainly have done that here. So Bitcoin down below 5,500. That is quite significant. It actually got down almost all the way to 5,000. I mean, it got to about 5,200. That is a huge move down in a very short period of time. But it did bounce off that level, and right now it's just kind of hanging out in this zone here. So if Bitcoin can consolidate and get some buyers attracted at these prices, at these discount levels to drive it higher, then there's a chance of recovering some of this big, huge move down. But right now, certainly the bears are in control. That being said, Navigator is trending upwards. So there are some signs within that there might be a little bit of bullish momentum trying to brew, but it's going to have a job ahead of it to really recoup all of that, because that is a significant amount of move, and the bulls will have to really come in with force if they want to take that back. So Daily Navigator, obviously very red on that big move down. That is a huge move down, though, and you can see on the 60-minute, no question, it got very, very exhausted. So it needed to kind of ease off the gas a little bit, and that's what we've seen it do now. But on a daily basis, we're not even oversold yet at all. There's no magenta, no exhaustion. We're not at oversold levels. So there is a significant amount of room on the Navigator left to go down. So we could be looking at further downside in Bitcoin. It is a distinct possibility. And it's possible based on trend analysis that this is the third and final significant leg down. At which point, hopefully for the bulls anyway, hopefully shake out the last weak hands and establish some buyers that really want to come in and then buy it back up to previously reached levels. So bullishly, we got so much to get over. We've got to retrace this. We got to get that back, and then we got to hop over this zone, and we got to hop over this zone, and it's going to have a big job ahead of it. So things not looking terribly good for the crypto market right now, but it also means it's a buying opportunity for somebody. So if you're an intraday trader, obviously there's lots of movement in Bitcoin. So lots of opportunity there if you like to trade, to day trade cryptocurrency. Let's finish up with Nat Gas, and huge day on Nat Gas today. Pretty much the exact polar opposite of yesterday. You can see on the intraday really well here that yesterday was just this monster move up, and today it was a monster move down. And look where it stopped. It stopped right at this buy zone, went right to it, and then just bounced right off of it, and right now it's just hanging out at exactly that level. So Navigator clearly has gone past the zero line to the downside on the 60-minute chart. On the daily, we are hugely exhausted. This is just such a gigantic move. Two of them in 2 days. Today was the report, the natural gas report. I forget exactly what it's called because I don't follow natural gas that closely. But anyway, that was this morning, and it looks like it was a bearish report, a bit of a delayed reaction during the day. It took a little while to kind of kick into gear, but then once it started to move, boy, it moved hard and it moved far fast. So definitely a bear day on natural gas. Good day to be short. If you got short somewhere up in this area here, congratulations. That was a fantastic opportunity to get yourself set up with a low risk short. You can put your stop right outside the highs and get in somewhere in here. And you had a really good opportunity there if that suits your risk tolerance. Of course, you can always tighten it up from there or use the top of the box as your stop, that sort of thing, and then just trail it down. In which case, if you're doing that, you're still in the trade because you've got quite a distance between where we are now and the top of the box. So right now, though, to the bear side, got to get over this and then got to actually get all the way down to this buy zone here and then break down below that to really have a significant follow through to the downside on the 60-minute. On the daily, we are in and right at the very bottom of this buy zone here, and it needs to break that. If it can break that and do so with some conviction, then the next zone to test is going to be this buy zone here, and that is currently where the 21 EMA is. So reasonable expectation for that to be pretty good support between the EMA and the buy zone. That is likely to be a pretty strong support level, and actually just below it is a second one. So this whole thing could almost be combined into one sort of giant zone. So there's a lot of buying support in this area. I would not be at all surprised to see if it can get down here to see it hang out in these areas and maybe go sideways for a little bit before deciding which way it wants to go, either further down or further continued upside. So that is what I'll be looking for in natural gas. And that concludes the afternoon analysis. So I hope you had a great trading day. I am looking forward to another tomorrow. That's the great thing about trading is there is always tomorrow. So never get hung up too much on one day's results. Be in it for the long term. Look at weekly, monthly, even quarterly performance. Don't get too hung up on one trade or one day. Good advice to take to heart and remember for all of us. So again, just a quick reminder, please do subscribe, like the video, and comment if you've got anything to let us know about. We would love to hear it. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear about your trading. Love to hear anything that we can do to help you out or analyze anything in a way that would be extra useful to you. So please let us know how things are going for you. That's it for me. I will be back next Tuesday morning. And next week is Thanksgiving. So I don't remember off the top of my head right now what the market schedule is like next week, but I'm quite confident I will not be here on Thursday of next week. Pretty sure my mental calendar says Thursday itself is Thanksgiving, but my mental calendar is known to be wrong. So anyway, I will be here Tuesday for sure. I will talk to you in the morning, do a pre-market analysis, and then set up for the day of trading ahead. In the meantime, have yourself a great Friday, have yourself a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. Take care and trade well as always.